We have some really interesting information to pass on. We're talking anaphylaxis, and joining us right now is Sara Shannon. She is the founder of Sabrina's Law. Sabrina, the name of her very brave daughter, who unfortunately passed back in 2003. She went into shock, and she did not have her. It is a long. It's a long story. I'm going to let you get to it, but interesting details as to how people view taking care of this when they're in absolute need. What happened with Sabrina, if you can, really quickly?
Well, Sabrina was her second time only eating French fries, and she asked about the French fries if they were safe or not, and they said they were peanut, soya, and milk-free. And Sabrina suffered from an anaphylactic reaction shortly after eating the French fries. Unfortunately, the signs and symptoms were not recognized, and Sabrina was told to walk to the office with another student. And when she got to the office, she was still complaining, and they thought it was her asthma. And they still hadn't recognized her signs and symptoms. And when it was, at one point she collapsed, and at one time or another, they retrieved her epinephrine auto-injector in her unlocked locker. But by the time they applied it, it was too late. Sabrina had suffered cardiac arrest. Her throat was closed. Her cardiovascular system was non-functional, and the epinephrine wasn't going to go anywhere. So,
without me getting into too many tears, because we already chatted about this, you were able to hold her hand in the hospital, and you said,
I promised Sabrina that I'd do everything possible to prevent another tragedy similar to Sabrina and our family from happening ever again.
Unfortunately, information is quite scary as to how many people don't take those precautions to have it with them at all times.
Yes, yeah. The Sanofi recently did a survey on this, and it is very alarming that many people at risk for anaphylaxis do not have access to an epinephrine auto-injector at all times. Many people don't know how to use it. 57%, people don't have access to their epinephrine. That's the amount they found in the research. And this is very alarming, since most deaths happen because of not having access to an epinephrine auto-injector or not giving it in a timely fashion.
So how does Sabrina Law come into play then? Well, what are you looking for?
Well, Sabrina's Law comes into play that it provides tools for all schools in Ontario. And it's basically about education and awareness and knowledge. And this provides a safety net for people at risk, students at risk. Most teens are at risk.
You're saying teens is the worst for them taking the responsibility of carrying it with them at all times, or
that's
when
right.
needed.
Well, teens think they're invincible. 2 people I know of that went to Sabrina's funeral don't carry their epinephrine today. They're putting themselves at risk. And I lost everything that day that Sabrina had a reaction. Sabrina was very smart. She was very intelligent. She went to Young People's Theatre in Toronto. She did very well in school. I don't know where she was headed, and I lost that all in one day. Anaphylaxis is very unforgiving, and people that do not carry their epinephrine auto-injectors are doing a great disservice to people around them, the people that love them.
This is something that this bill has been implemented in other countries. The United States has different names for it, but really there's quite the influence there. So it's just taking the opportunity to discuss and have information available for teachers, for educators, for anyone who's in that environment. And very, very briefly, this was something that Sabrina had done, right? This was a drawing, so I'll turn it around so people can see.
Yes. Yes, Sabrina did this angel drawing, and I passed this around to everyone, and it says, "Help someone in need." And so with anaphylaxis, when you're lacking oxygen to your brain and you're not thinking straight, you do need people around you to help you, to help you give the epinephrine auto-injector. Young people might be concerned about how they look because you start getting hives and swell. And that's the worst thing you can do. The communication is really important. And I really ask people, everyone has a moral obligation to learn about anaphylaxis and learn how to give an epinephrine auto-injector, because this can save a life.
For anyone who is, you know, it's a long title right there, but you're probably getting it right, but a lot of people know it as the EpiPen. It's just that it's trademarked in that sense, but for people to make that association that is exactly the injection that is needed, that type of a product. I'm so sorry for your loss. I know that Sabrina's name and this legacy will continue, and that people will get the information that's out there.
Yes,
Thank you.
And I invite everyone to go to www.sanofi.ca to investigate on the survey because of this alarming
It's a scary
results.
number of how many people are not
carry your epinephrine.
getting it
That's right.
and carrying it. Thank you.